Anyway, Brandon is live, folks. Let's hear what he has to say.
Americans, 12 years
Look
of
at that.
universal education.
Look, this is kind of silly this is a silly metric to focus on, but he does one good thing, 20,000 people watching, baby. Let's go.
The cost of education beyond high school has gone up significantly. The total cost to attend a public four-year university has tripled, nearly tripled in 40 years. Tripled. Instead of properly funding public colleges, many states have cut back their support. We're just talking about that in the Oval. Many states have cut back support for their state universities, leaving students to pick up more of the tab. And for 50 years, Pell Grants had been a key way for the federal government to help lower income families, particularly those earning less than $60,000 a year to send their kids to college. Those Pell Grants used to cover 80% of the cost of going to a public four-year college. Today, Pell Grants cover 30%, roughly 32%. That's 1/3 of the cost as opposed to before. It matters. I remember walking up, now my dad, like probably a lot of your folks, cared a lot about your education. My dad's greatest regret was that he never got to go to college. And my dad was a very well-read man, particularly history, but it was a great regret. And you always say, Joey, you're going to be a college man. And I'd say, Dad, but what does that matter? I mean, you can still get fired if you're a college man.
Remember when he stole a British dude's rhetoric, or British dude's speech?
I remember my senior year.
He plagiarized it back in the 90s when he said, I'm the first Biden.
We're trying to get the money, even with financial
That's a college graduate.
To be able to go there. We had
Neil Kinnock.
All of us wanting to go.
He stole a Neil Kinnock speech.
And I remember going down after a baseball game. I went to a really good school up in Claymont, Delaware, on the Pennsylvania border, and drove down to Newark, Delaware. My dad worked at an automobile agency, and I walked in and I had my spikes, and because the reason I was going down. When your dad works in an automobile agency, the great advantage, you get a new car to go to the prom, or a good used car off the lot. You think I'm joking?
Yeah, we'll do lib watch.
And so I went down to my 51 Plymouth with beach towels for seat covers, and I had my uniform on, my spikes off. I ran in, and the woman's name was Mary, who ran the place. I said, Mary, where's Dad? She said, he's out in the lane going into the repair shop.
I'm going to keep it a $150. I don't know if that's like a part of sign language.
Fella, and I walked out and my
or
pacing
she's just genuinely excited that
garage door going into the
Joe Biden has canceled $10,000, maybe $20,000 if she had Pell Grants of her debt. Because she was smiling, dude.
He looked up, he said, oh, Joey, honey, I'm so sorry.
But I guess maybe smiling is like a part of the emoting.
Cell phones. So something happened to one of my brothers or my sister or my mom or something. I said, what's the matter, Dad? I said, I went to see, the guy's name was Charlie Delcher, who was a vice president of the Farmers Bank, which was a state-owned bank that did a lot of the financing of people wanting to purchase a car. I said, I went to Charlie and asked to borrow the money. He said, he won't lend it to me. He said, I'm so ashamed. I'm so damn ashamed.
You himbo facial expressions are vital in sign. I did not know that.
My dad was like millions of parents all across the country. Want to help the kids to get to school, but there was just no way to be able to do it. You know,
it is also kind of funny when she's like,
he believed as I do that
part of the emoting, bro. You sound like XCC. Yeah.
It's something.
It's funny when he's like confused and she has to convey confusion.
Sure the vast majority of you do as well. But over time, that ticket has become too expensive for too many Americans. All this means is an entire generation is now saddled with unsustainable debt in exchange for an attempt, at least, at a college degree. The burden is so heavy that even if you graduate, you may not have.
Emoting is true, by the way. It's not XQC. I said, Chatter's thinking Twitch invented the term emoting. Yeah, emoting is a term in the English language. That's what she's doing. Emoting is the proper term I use, by the way.
They carry it's too high.
Silly juicers.
The down payment anyway. A lot of folks are even putting off starting families because of the cost. And the dream of starting your own business is just way off in the distance with the debt that so many are saddled with. Many of you had to leave school because the financial strain was much too high. About a third of the borrowers have debt but no degree, and worst of both worlds, debt and no degree. The burden is especially heavy on Black and Hispanic borrowers, who on average have less family wealth to pay for it. They don't own their homes to borrow against to be able to pay for college. And the pandemic only made things worse. But we responded aggressively to the pandemic to minimize the economic impact of the harm of COVID imposed on individuals.
Oh my God.
And businesses. You all were there with recovery. Look, we increased unemployment benefits for workers who were laid off. We provided loans to small businesses so they could stay afloat and take care of their families and their employees.
This is the Fox News website main page.
Food on the table. Remember those long lines you guys would all film of cars? Decent looking cars, not jalopies, nice cars.
Not jalopies.
Just waiting for a box of food.
He said jalopy.
In the United States of America? Waiting for over an hour to get food in a trunk? And we provided rent and mortgage assistance to keep people from being evicted and thrown out in the street. Our approach to help Americans who need it the most was necessary. And it was the right thing to do. And it helped people avoid financial crisis, which helped our whole country as a consequence of that. That didn't benefit them. It benefited the whole economy. Our approach is why America's economic recovery was faster and stronger than any other advanced nation in the world. Now it's time to address the burden of student debt in the same way. Working closely with the Secretary of Education, he's got the hard job, Secretary Cardona. Here's what my administration is going to do. Provide more breathing room for people so they have less burdened by student debt. And quite frankly, to fix the system itself, which when we came in, we both acknowledged was broken in terms of...
I love this, dude.
There are three key factors what we're going to do today. First, we've made incredible progress advancing America's economic recovery. We've wound down pandemic relief programs like the ones on unemployment insurance and small businesses. It's time we do the same thing for student loans. Student loan payments pause is going to end. It's going to end December 30. I'm extending to December 31st, 2022. And it's going to end.
That's the best part, by the way. Student loan debt repayment has been extended to 2022, baby. Let's go.
I made a commitment.
Post midterms.
And I'm honoring that commitment today. Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000
Did he say 2023?
in outstanding
I thought it was
federal student loans.
But regardless,
students who come from low-income families,
I suspect that they're going to keep fucking. They're going to keep kicking the can down the road.
Reduced $20,000. Both of these targeted actions are for families who need it the most. Working and middle-class people hit especially hard during the pandemic, making under $125,000 a year. If you make more than that, you don't qualify. No high-income individual or high-income household on top of the 5%, in the top 5% of incomes, by the way, will benefit from this action, period. In fact, about 90% of the eligible beneficiaries make under $75,000 family. Here's what that means. If you make under $125,000, you get $10,000 knocked off your student debt. If you make under $125,000 a year and you received a Pell Grant, you'll get
quantitative easement for the residential housing market done by the executive branch
for a total of $20,000 relief. 95% of the borrowers can benefit from these actions. That's 43 million people. Of the 43 million, over 60% are Pell Grant recipients. That's 27 million people who will get $20,000 in debt relief. Nearly 45% can have their student debt fully canceled. That's 20 million people who can start getting on with their lives. All this means people can finally crawl out from under that mountain of debt, to get on top of their rent and their utilities, to finally think about buying a home,
finally,
starting a family, or starting a business.
You can pay your rent.
By the way,
oh, thank God.
The whole economy is better off. In the coming weeks, the Department of Education
pay your rent
will
and
lay
utilities
out in detail a short and simple form to apply for this relief, along with information when this application process opens. By resuming student loan payments at the same time as we provide targeted relief,
I owe 18K still. This is literally life-changing for me. I use
course.
Pell Grants, so I should get the
As a
20K relief.
consequence,
Congratulations,
about
Chatter.
$50 billion a year will start coming back into the Treasury because of resumption of debt. Independent experts agree that these actions taken together will provide real benefits for families without meaningful effect on inflation. Let's be clear. I hear it all the time. How do we pay for it? We pay for it by what we've done. Last year, we cut the deficit by more than $350
Why?
billion.
How do you pay for it? What do you mean how you pay for it? Economic activity. This is literally juicing the economy. Why do we only juice the economy by directly offering handouts to big businesses, corporations, or the wealthy? Why can't the fucking working class juice the economy sometimes?
Because Medicare will be paying less for prescription drugs and over $1 trillion we added out for the next 2 decades. The point is this. There is plenty of deficit reduction to pay for the programs, cumulative deficit reduction to pay for the programs many times over. I will never apologize for helping Americans, working Americans and middle class.
Thankful for this as an owner of 130 properties. This allows my tenants to be more on time with their rent, allowing me to not be so angry and hateful.
The wealthiest Americans.
Yeah, this way you can work on ADHD. This way you have more time to yourself to work on dealing in your everyday life as a landlord with ADHD.
The federal government forgave almost every single cent.
You're acting like this isn't a good thing. No, this is a great thing. What do you mean? Why would I say this is not a good thing? The only thing is I wish it was more.
Across America during the pandemic. No one complained.
What the fuck do you mean?
Dude.
This is literally, this is a, 1, campaign promise. 2, something that should have been done a long time ago. I am 100% a fan of this, okay? What the fuck are you talking about? The only thing I'm not a fan of is that it's only 10K. But there are other good provisions in here. Like, as long as you make like 150, as long as you make like a payment of $150, like your interests are stopped entirely. Like there's some really cool shit in this.
Make what's called an income
in the debt repayment side too. That is like tremendous.
Here's how.
But I'm the most excited because now my fucking college educated people will have $10,000 extra in their pocket so they can buy a $5 a month subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime and then avoid the ads at the top of the fucking hour.
Necessities like housing, food.
Let's go.
You currently pay 10%.
Because at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with Twitch Prime. Or you can get gifted a sub. Taco Damn, thank you for the 10 gifted.
You won't have to pay any more.
Woo! We got Oilers. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
Balance was less than $12,000. Many of whom are community college students will be done paying.
Bry Guy, thank you for the 5 gifted.
These changes will save more than $1,000 a year on average for the borrower. It's a game changer. We're also fixing what's called, and this has been the bane of driving me crazy when I was out of office.
Some anxiety. Thank you for the 5 gifted.
Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Now, this program forgives student loans to encourage those students who have those loans.
TSP Leviathan, thank you for the 10 gifted. Anjuna Beat Farmer, thank you for the 5 gifted.
Think of the millions who are public school teachers, local police officers, workers at local charities, members of the military and the National Guard, and so many more. Think of the folks who work for federal, state, local, tribal governments, keeping essential services going, responding to natural disaster, all those firefighters and cops. The program is designed so that if you serve in one of these jobs...
Darby Crispy, thank you for the 5 gifted as well. Taco Damn, thank you for the another 20.
Assess whether you do. And make your loan payments for 10 years, even if it's not consecutive years. Your remaining balance will be completely forgiven. It's a great idea, but the program's a mess. It's so inefficient and complicated, too many people just give up. Think if a service member defers their student loan payment.
Oh, you can also be refunded on any federal student loan payments you've made since the March 2020 pause.
Service didn't count
You can get a refund for any payment, including auto debit payments you made during the payment pause. Contact your loan servicer to request your payment be refunded.
The Department of Education has recently proposed changes that will make this program work better and over the long term, much better. And now the department issues emergency temporary changes to retroactively credit public service so accounts and loans are forgiven. Since I've been in office, more than 175,000 teachers, nurses, police officers have been able to get over $10 billion in loan forgiveness so far through this program. But this opportunity expires on October 31st, 2022. So my message to all servants, all public servants, all those who are the ones that are volunteering, is out with student debt to go. Here's what you want. If you're worried about how to do it, go to pslf.gov before October 31st to see if you qualify for public service student loan forgiveness. This is another game changer. And we're going to have people who are there to help get you, help direct you and work you through the process. And one more big change we're making to the system is we're holding colleges accountable for jacking up costs without delivering value to students. We've all heard of those schools luring students with a promise of big paychecks when they graduate, only to watch these students be ripped off and left with mountains of debt. My predecessors looked the other way, for some reason, with good reason, to do anything about this fraud. My administration is taking it on. For example, the Department of Education works with private education associations to accredit colleges and universities so they can receive federal aid. Well, last week, the Department of Education fired a college accreditor that allowed colleges like ITT and Corinthian to defraud borrowers. And combined with our emergency actions, the Public Service Forgiveness Program and other actions we've taken, we've been able to cancel more than $32 billion in student debt for 1.6 million borrowers, including those defrauded by these bad acting schools. Our goal is to shine a light on the worst actors so students can avoid.
Please tell your chat that there's a lawsuit for predatory lending called Sweet versus Cardona, and those student loans are being forgiven if your school is on the list. This is for federal loans.
Make everybody happy. Some think it's too much. I find it interesting how some of my Republican friends who voted for those tax cuts and others think that we shouldn't be helping these folks. Some think it's too little, but I believe my plan is responsible and fair. It focuses the benefit on middle class and working families. It helps both current and future borrowers, and will fix a badly broken system. These actions build on my administration's effort to make college more affordable in the first place. It includes unprecedented investments, nearly $6 billion.
You sign up for the loan, you should pay for it. Are they going to forgive mortgages next? I mean, that'd be sick, but medical debt, I think, would be the place I go to first instead of mortgages.
So they could stay in school.
Yeah.
And I must be honest with you. I'm going to continue to fight for doubling the Pell Grants. I didn't get that done this time.
Except, like, this is a federal loan.
12 years of universal education is not enough.
You know what I mean? Like, they have the power to do that.
Continue to work for universal pre-K.
But yeah,
for every 3- and 4-year-old.
Can you imagine if they did that for medical debt, dude? Oh my God, this country would literally start resembling a real country.
I ran for office to grow the economy from the bottom up and the middle out. Because when we do that, everybody does better. Everybody does well.
DJ 3 stacks, thank you for the 20 gifted subs. 20 stacks, baby.
The class can have breathing room.
2 stacks.
And that's going to help America win the economic
that Brandon is allowing. If you have a Pell Grant,
much of my time,
you make less than 125K.
How do we remain the most competitive nation in the world, with the strongest economy in the world, with the greatest opportunities in the world? That's what today's announcement is about. It's about opportunity. It's about giving people a fair shot. It's about the one word America can be defined by: possibilities. It's all about providing possibilities.
Motherfuckers act like conservatives don't take out student loans, by the way. So, remember that.
How this is being implemented. And I want to thank you all.
This is literally, what we're talking about is millions of Americans, okay? He just won He just won directly millions of Americans, okay? Straight up, with one fucking signature. Millions of Americans are like, you just saved my life. This is life-changing. This is life-changing debt relief.
People who, in fact,
okay?
do not own multi-billion-dollar businesses, why these guys get more of that fair? What do you think?
What about people who paid their loans, though, struggle to pay?
How much of your audience do you think is conservatives hate watching? Not that big. Conservative students just go to work for their daddy's firm making more than 125K. This doesn't apply to those turds. No, man, that's not true. He could have said also the highest percentage of Americans, 55%, approve of the 10K in forgiveness as opposed to more forgiveness, even though I don't personally think it goes far enough in terms of forgiveness. Why does no president point out, I'm doing the largest quantifiable will of the people here in moments like this to further drive it home? Because it's not good policy and it's not good politics. Because means testing means that there's going to be a lot of gaps. Ironically, when we talk about means testing, if you want a means test, I'm always a fan of means testing after the fact. Give the tax credits universally and then take it back at the end of the road. Okay? Like means test on the back end through the tax system. Because universal programs actually are good for having no resentment whatsoever, right? They're better so that people do not have any kind of resentment where they're like, oh man, I barely fucking made the cutoff or whatever, and feel like a sense of anger because of that, right? I don't make anywhere near 125K, but I think it's a big mistake to do a hard limit here. If you make 125 on one, you fall off a cliff and get nothing from this versus someone who makes 124,999 regressive incentive. Sure, but it's the Democrats. They have to. Not to mention means testing costs more than what you save, and it just slows down the ability for social safety nets to work. Exactly. So I'm not an advocate for means testing. I do personally believe that if you want a means test, though, you can do it on the back end. Like once the means testing is over, once the means testing is done. Biden says there's plenty of deficit reduction to pay for the program. I will never apologize for helping working Americans, especially not to the same folks who voted for a $2 trillion tax cut that mainly benefited the wealthiest Americans. This policy is good. Good. It's not bad. Good policy. The only criticisms that I would have over this policy is that it's not perfect or that it's not going far enough. But even then, this is a good start, okay? And the many layers of the debt relief, isn't just like, oh, dude, boom, 20K if you took Pell Grants are gone, yeeted, that you don't have to pay for, okay? That's great on its own, but there is more to it than just that, okay? But the secondary consequence of this is the same feeling that Americans have for a brief moment, okay? And this, I believe, maybe I'm being a little too excited, maybe I'm being a little too, I don't know, optimistic about this, but the number one thing that things like this, initiatives like this provide people is a sense of hope that the government can, in times of need, help you out. We saw this. We saw the impact of this during COVID when the stimmy checks started coming in. It was for the first time ever. The government actually did something and eradicated extreme poverty in America. If you recall, the first month of the pandemic, at the peak of it, right? We literally did not have extreme poverty in America. It just wiped it out. Straight up. Those were Trump checks. And I think that does something that the past century of American politics never does. And that is instill a sense of hope and a sense of mostly instill a sense of hope that the government can sometimes actually do something for you. Okay? That's a good thing. Because every single fucking initiative leading up to this from Democrats and Republicans both have literally done the exact opposite. Which is the government's never there to help. I'm from the government and I'm here to help is the worst thing you can ever hear. That mentality has played into starving the beast. That mentality has played into further tax cuts, further tax breaks. Oftentimes, of course, the lion's share of that goes to the higher tax brackets. Okay? Ben Shapiro partnered with someone that received PPP. Cinestate is the former company, and now it's called Bonfire Legends, which is partnering with the Daily Wire to make their movies. Yeah. The government did slightly more than the minimum for the first time in my life, and tons of people I know have massively improved their material circumstances in a lasting way as a result. I am now liberal. Sorry, I must leave the community now. But in all honesty, I'm now motivated to vote in November here in Texas. Like, this is how you get people out to vote. This is a good thing. No matter which way Republicans and even a lot of Democrats who have a financial interest in stopping this from happening, because like they have a vested interest in propagandizing for like debt refinancing companies and the like, that have a vested interest in ensuring their success because this hurts those companies. Those people are going to fucking shit on this nonstop. Hopefully, the Biden White House will be able to effectively counter this initiative. Okay. Regarding that chatter, the 125K chatter is based on your 2020 and 2021 taxes. If you made less than 125K in either year, you qualify. And there are Democrats that are going to come out against this, by the way. So make no mistake. Don't be some pushback among Dems and tough raises the Biden student loan move. Chris Pappas, frontline House Democrat from New Hampshire. Any plan to address student debt should go through the legislative process, and it should be more targeted and paid for so it doesn't add to the deficit. Like, I want to, if anyone brings up deficit spending, if anyone, especially a Democrat, brings up PAYGO or deficit spending or how this is going to fucking hurt the deficit, I want to put you in a trebuchet and launch you into the fucking sun. Okay? Shut the fuck up. Stop offering counter propaganda that is not even true. Okay? This is already targeted. They're just literally saying that so that they can like win over this non-existing fucking person, this non-existing voter. Message adequately. Whip the fucking party. Okay? Nancy Pelosi, come back from your Italian vacation with a real fucking whip and start slamming these motherfuckers. Don't let a single fucking leak within the Democratic Party come out against this. It's just so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. How do you allow this? Beat the shit out of this person. No committees for you if you talk like this. They do this all the fucking time to the left. Whip the motherfucking moderates for once. Holy shit. We're now going to go through, explain how it is not true. It's not true because no one gives a shit about deficit spending when it comes to the fucking military. They only talk about deficit spending, not even when it's a tax cut for the wealthy. People only care about deficit spending when it, or deficits, when it is an initiative that helps the large majority of working class Americans. At a certain point, you need to fucking comprehend this, okay? Today is like 9/11 for people with Harvard in their bio. Yo, literally. I've never seen so many fucking Harvard in the bio asses that are liberal, by the way, or are, Lincoln Project ass liberals, freaking the fuck out over this. It's not a bad thing. This is a good thing, okay? Shut the fuck up. The only negative thing on this is that it doesn't go far enough. Here's Bernie Sanders' take on it. From Burlington, Vermont, the president's decision today to reduce the outrageous level of student debt in our country is an important step forward in providing real financial help to the struggling middle class. Today's announcement to reduce up to $10,000 in student debt for working class Americans and up to $20,000 for Pell Grant recipients will eliminate student debt for some 20 million Americans and reduce debt for some 43 million. That's insane, bro. Think about that. 20 million Americans, 43 million Americans are going to have their debt reduced. 43 million Americans. Think about how much. That's so many fucking voters, dude. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. What are you supposed to do? This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're doing. This is legislation. This is, well, technically it's not legislation, but like this is what an adequate government is supposed to do. The result of this decision is that millions of Americans will now be in a better position to start families or buy the homes or cars they have long needed. This is a big deal. This also helps the economy, okay? Can you rate this act on a 1 to 10? I want to get the decimal number to process your feelings. I'm at like a 7 right now. But we have got to do more. At a time of massive income and wealth inequality, education from preschool through graduate school must be a fundamental right for all and not a privilege for the wealthy few. If the United States is going to effectively compete in the global economy, we need the best educated workforce in the world. True. And that means making public colleges and universities tuition free as many other major countries currently do. True. Spitting. And that includes trade schools and minority serving institutions as well. Spitting. In the year 2022, the wealthiest country on earth, everyone in America who wants a higher education should be able to get that education without going into debt. No, fundamental is what Bernie says. It's Bernie's worse. No, guys, I'm a Bernie stan. Don't test me on this. Listen to Bernie Sanders ever say fundamental. He doesn't say it like that. He says it like a oi, bro. If I'm reading this correctly, Biden's student debt program is far better than I anticipated. The new rules on income-based repayment mean that you will no longer see your loan balance increase while you are making payments. That is what I was talking about. This part of it is insane. You cover the borrower's unpaid monthly interest so that unlike other existing income-driven repayment plans, no borrower's loan balance will grow as long as they make their monthly payments, which are capped too. As long as you're below a certain income level, even when that monthly payment is zero because their income is low. This is legislation literally already within the broad authority of the Secretary of Education to forgive debts. We need to stop feeding fascist fucks. Yeah, that's the main part. That is the huge W here. That's what I was referencing earlier. That's a gigantic help, dude. This country has never advanced without major, at least Keynesian, economic moves. Okay, this country is the reason why there is even such a concept as homeownership in this country is the fucking GI Bill. The reason why people were educated was the GI Bill. The reason why this country became a productive labor force is a consequence of payment plans offered by the government. Is a consequence of favorable loans offered by the government. It's fucking psychotic. This is what America has always been about. Well, people on the con side and Harvard side saying Biden is buying votes for 20K. Okay, thanks. Minus 20K plus 1 vote works for me. Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what being, dude, that's what being a legislator is. That's what being a leader is. You buy votes. That's what you're supposed to do. What the fuck? We are so fucking brain broken in America that we literally think when politicians do something good, that's somehow a bad thing. These motherfuckers buy votes for the corporations of the wealthy every goddamn day. I've talked about this before. The old Mitt Romney tweet that I responded to, if you guys remember, maybe some of you can, maybe one of you can pull it up. A couple months back, Mitt Romney was like, what's next? Are we going to fucking eliminate medical debt too? And I was like, yeah, that would be great. Exactly. Framing Lamau. Biden announces Biden announced a $300 billion loan handout. President Biden speaks on student loan debt plan. Yeah. Handout. It's a handout. It's a handout. When it's a corporation, it's not a handout. That's why these motherfuckers, when they act like they're of the Austrian school, right? When they believe in like Austrian economics, it's a lie. It's a fucking lie. They love num 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 num. They love suckling on the government titty. Okay, they love that shit. They just don't want normal people to be able to get a fucking crumb, because the normal crumbs that a normal average Joe could get is a crumb that the fucking billionaires couldn't get from the government. That's fucking bullshit. Oh, yeah, it was this. It was the. I mean, Mitt Romney had a vote. Mitt Romney had a take like this before that I responded to. I can't remember if I can find it. But I said pretty much this exact same thing that Ken is saying right now. If Biden would clear all debt, us libtards would suck off the boys in blue, something that he should keep in mind. Dude, I will suck off all the hero cops. Biden is literally telling every college in America to raise tuition by $10,000. This is my favorite fucking right-wing take. Which, of course, again, you can apply this attitude to every part of your lives. But Tom Cotton will never do that about landlords. You understand? It's like, oh, dude, what? These are not institutions that are completely removed from some level of control. You can't just, if they do that, we should punish them. They're already doing it. They're already fucking doing it. Is this it? Yeah, mask off moment from our elites as they show their disdain for the working class. Popular policies to win voters isn't bribery. It's your job. You do it for big corporations of the wealthy every single day, but the moment is for the working poor. They can't comprehend it. Look, desperate polls call for desperate measures. Dems consider forgiving trillions in student loans. Other bribe suggestions: forgive auto loans, forgive credit card debt, forgive mortgages, and put a wealth tax on the super rich to pay for it all. What could possibly go wrong? I liked my own tweet. That was stupid, but whatever. Remember, it's only a moral hazard if we're doing debt relief for the working poor. It's never a moral hazard if a taxpayer-funded bailout package is built into the risk mitigation of a mega corporation currently engaging in stock buybacks. Damn, bro, this fucking pass this on was based. Based! So true. One more thing, though. What about people like my wife and I who live well below our means after college to pay off our loans? Okay. I mean, I'm glad that you were able to pay off your loans, my friend. You know what I mean? I lived well below my fucking means after college to be able to pay off my loans, too. It doesn't work like that. You understand how fucking shitty that was. You struggled through it and you survived. What do you mean? What are you going to do? Kick people, kick the ladder back? Like, what the fuck is that about? And if you paid during the pause since March 2020, you can literally get a refund. So at least you have that. I had polio. Why should other people be able to get the polio vaccine? Exactly. Can I have my car loan forgiven? Takes, implying that cars and education play the same role in society. And yes, mortgages and medical debt should be forgiven too. These are critical pillars of society. Anyway, the first 31,200 doesn't apply to income-based repayment. If you make 50 grand a year, you're paying 5% towards a loan on $18,800 of income. So instead of paying $2,500 a year, you'll pay $940. So if you're someone who meets the 125K income threshold for forgiveness but are lamenting that you recently paid off your loans, ask for 10K or as much as you've paid since the pandemic began back, and voila. Obviously relevant today, but also if you're fortunate enough to have had transitioned during a pandemic job that offers education assistance, get that money back and have your employer pay it off. I had my ribcage cut open and heart removed for surgery in 1994. By this logic, I should be mad about stereoscopic surgery options for the same procedure today, but I'm not, of course. Yeah, that would be fucking insane. It's literally what conservatives are thinking, Lamau.
This is coming from someone who has 6 figures of student loan debt, both federal and private. And this is a controversial opinion, so be ready. I do not think that the president should forgive any student loan debt. Because like a lot of people have been saying, it wouldn't be fair to the people who hustled and sacrificed and worked hard to pay off their student loan debt. They're not going to get that time or that money back. It kind of reminds me of how during slavery in America, when the slaves that had hustled and worked to escape their plantations and get to a free state, when they heard that the...
Wait, She's joking. This is satire. No shot. This is satire. They're trolling. They're trolling. They're trolling.
The president was going to sign the Emancipation Proclamation. They were like, this isn't fair to me. Do I get all the years back that I was enslaved? No, I don't. Don't sign that. Don't do it. And also just personal.
Also, she's joking. Guys, she's joking. Calm the fuck down. As soon as she said slavery, I was like, oh, okay, she's joking. That's literally, she's joking. Holy fuck, leftist chat, calm down.
While we're at it, I don't think that we should be making advances in medicine either, because it's really not fair to the people who have already died. This is coming from someone who...
I didn't think she was joking at first either, because there are fucking psychotic takes like that, okay? Using slavery for political jokes is kind of weird, though. Yes, cancel this black woman for making a joke. Wait, where are these people coming from? Calm down, bro. That's not a problematic joke at all. That's a great joke. Shut the fuck up. Here's Moscow Mitch's take on Biden's attack on capitalism. Another student dead TikTok.
Funny. Yes, but not funny. Haha. Funny weird.
Cute, we also paused repayment of loans until after the midterm. Shaking my head. Evil Brandon is alive, not so well. I mean, yeah, the repayment pause after the midterms is a good fucking idea. Like, it's just politically expedient. He's probably going to... I mean, it sucks. I wish they would do more. I still believe they potentially could kick it down the road again. Why do so many leftists lack a sense of humor? If this keeps up, I'm going to have to start watching Louder with Chowder. Yeah, well, I think... You know what this is? I'll just explain it to you this way. It's not a Democrats-Republicans thing, okay? I think it's more a politics thing. If you're a politics understander, your brain becomes so fucking fundamentally broken by understanding politics or thinking you understand politics that, like, the same part of your brain that would actually offer, I don't know, the humor bone or whatever, to look at quips and goofs and gaffes and laugh at it becomes incredibly serious. And that's precisely the reason why, like, Republicans can only do humor by being, like, insanely racist because they have no humor bone. And leftists can only do humor by writing fucking theory because they have no humor bone. No, that sounds dumb. No, okay, well. Biden also called out the PPP loan forgiveness hypocrites after a question from Ducey. Yeah, he did. That was the last thing he said. He was like, yeah, corporations got like, what, $400 billion. Shut the fuck up.
Either student loans or chose not to take out loans.
Is it fair to people who, in fact, do not own multi-billion-dollar businesses to see what these guys give them all a tax thing? Is that fair? What do you think?
What about people who pay their loans, though, struggle to pay their loans, and now others don't have to?
It's psyops by the conservative. Their takes are so wild, the left doesn't know what's a take and what's not anymore. Love your point. Thanks. Honestly, what about working on teaching financial literacy so people don't take this credit off their debt and grow their credit card debt in the future instead? I know so many college students who pull out so much on their loans above tuition costs just to go out and live an Instagram lavish style. Yeah, no, you're right, man. I think we should punish 45 million Americans because you found a guy. That's how I would write policy. 45 million Americans that are suffering, saddled by student loan debt for no fucking reason when college education should be free, especially because it makes a more productive labor force. And then one guy that I made up in my mind. No, you're right. And that guy, of course, would magically solve his problems, the made up guy, by having a financial literacy class. I guess he just didn't pay attention to financial literacy. That's why he did that. No, you're right. That's cool. No, thank you. Thank you for that take. Luckily, we don't fucking cut policy. What? Studying on Hassan's Valorant skills? I did 104 damage. You Phantom, you Phantom. Motherfucker, I don't have money. What do you mean you Phantom? I'm not good. I'm not good enough to, like, not die. We keep winning, but I don't have money. Wait, what?
Please do not.
You're revived.
I take this all of it.
Like, it's clear this man has never seen a Valorant video in his life.
I've never even encountered it. Like, I have no idea what Valorant is. I just literally, this is like my 4th time playing.
Like,
she's right.
Okay, my friends play this game. I might as well just like queue it up and see what happens. This man has never seen a Valorant video. Has absolutely no idea what's going on. It's great. Yeah, I
haven't even watched a Valorant video on accident. Okay.
I hope that he stays a pure Valorant soul, and it does not become a life-sucking force for him like it did for the rest of us.
Dude, I think I graduated before Instagram and before social media influencers were really a thing. I have to take out full loans because I was a single mom, for fuck's sake. No. That guy was crazy anyway. Don't listen to that. That's not a real story. Biden is telling every college in America to raise tuition by $1,000. Both of my best friends are going to the Marines for debt. Pretty bad timing. Yep. Oop. Well, maybe they can get out. Remember when you yielded to chatter for exactly the same take? If you suffer for the repayment of other shit too, right? People are just selfish. Yeah, that's just selfishness masked as like some kind of moral purpose. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Like you're literally you're describing being selfish and describing envy, but you're trying to moralize it by being like, well, what about the integrity of all the people who paid off their debt? Okay, well, I did too. Suck me, okay? And I'm not an asshole. So, Sean, you make a lot of money. Yeah, I do. I paid them off when I didn't, though. You know? Don't even entertain the whole Instagram student rhetoric. Okay, it's just bullshit. It's made up. Sorry if the really stupid question, does this student loan thing have to pass Congress? No, it's not. That's the beautiful part about it. These are federal loans. Therefore, the president could actually literally with the signature of a pen, actually forgive all of them if he wanted to. $1.6 trillion worth, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that cool? He could do that. The same exact principle applies to 10,000 as it does to every single penny. Straight up. Does the debt relief mean anything about relief for students that are going to college, or is it just all those that graduated already? Wait, no, I think if you have debt right now, this helps pay it. That chatter was just playing devil's advocate. I hate debate bros. Why are you advocating for the devil? Yeah, I mean, it's just not a good... He wasn't even doing a good job advocating for the devil then. The honest truth is, if you were poor, I got Pell Grants and loans, and this pays off all my debt. This will help millions. Why are you complaining? This whole conversation is so detached from reality. Yeah, I mean, it is. It is straight up detached from reality. It's any loans as of July 1st, 2022. So I was about like 2,500 in, which is not a good loan. It was paid off. Yeah. Yeah, the pushback from the Dems is bullshit. Fuck those people. They can suck me. They can fuck and suck me, okay? Betsy DeVos came out swinging for this. All of the worst demons are going to come out against this, by the way, which should reinforce the happiness that you feel about in this very moment that the government has actually finally done one fucking thing right. Okay? It's a small step in the right direction, but it's still a good step. 3 key things that are true. This is 100% illegal. No, it's not. You were literally the Secretary of State. Shut the fuck up, you dumb motherfucker. This is unfair to everyone who paid their loan or never took one out. This doesn't fix anything. College tuition will keep rising and students will keep taking on debt. Yeah, it's really unfair that we're funding the fire department for all of those people who haven't had fires in their houses, right? It's so fucked up. She said it's illegal. Yeah, one thing that should reinforce, if you don't know anything about this, if you don't know anything about this plan, if you don't know anything about this fucking plan, the one thing that should make you feel confident about it is that Betsy DeVos and every dumb liberal motherfucker and every dumb conservative motherfucker is against it. Perfect. That's great. Anyone that tells you that this is a step in, anyone that doesn't tell you that this is a step in the right direction is lying to you. Okay? It's not the best. It's not the best solution. And there is so much more we have to do. But anyone that gets mad at this is fucking ridiculous. Unless they're upset that it's not more, because there was a promise that it was going to be much more. Okay? When the government does something I dislike, it's socialism and it's illegal. Also, conservatives coming out of the gate swinging with the one joke that they have. One joke Andy. Happy legal guardian of unspecified gender day. You guys have one joke you tell over and over again. We have as many jokes as you have R-worded genders. This is the same joke again. Literally. I literally just finished paying off my student loans in May. Forgive them all. My friend, I have something wonderful to tell you. You could ask for a fucking refund. If you just paid off your loans, that means you probably paid off your loans in the past, in the moratorium period. Therefore, you can ask the government for a refund on those payments. There you go. Isn't that great? Read the rest of what they said. No, I know. Does this cover Parent Plus loans? I'm worried my wife won't get money for her loans since they're all in her mom's name. I don't know. Okay, but we're going to go through the federal student aid, studentaid.gov/debt relief announcement. This is the plan that is going to explain it. I know that chatter was agreeing with me, by the way. Just because I paid mine off doesn't mean we shouldn't help others. It's so ridiculous. I know that chatter was agreeing with me. I make over 125K. Okay, big flex. You make over 125K a year, and here you are not gifting people, okay? That's fucked up. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Okay. Plus loans are covered. Okay. Holy shit. This community is so anti-reading until... This community normally is very anti-reading until debt relief comes around, and motherfuckers have already read through every paragraph and every letter of this. There's like 1,000 chatters that was like, no, it covers it. I read it already. God damn, dude. What happened? I thought we were against reading in this community. Turns out when fucking money's on the line, all you motherfuckers became the most astute. You became article heads in a matter of moments. You were like speed reading through it like, okay, do I get this money or not? Listen. I gotta do this, okay? In honor of this, I mean, this might be a fucking DMCA moment, but fuck it. In honor of this, that's right, folks. The Biden-Harris administration student debt relief plan has been explained. That's right. President Biden, Vice President Harris of the U.S. Department of Education have announced a three-part plan to help working and middle-class federal student loan borrowers transition back to regular payment as pandemic-related support expires. This plan includes loan forgiveness of up to $20,000, $10,000, but $20,000 if you got Pell Grants. Many borrowers and families may be asking themselves, what do I have to do to claim this relief? This page is a resource to answer those questions and more. There will be more details announced in the coming weeks. To be notified when the process is officially open, sign up at the Department of Education subscription page, which I think went down for a little bit because, of course, you know, site is literally crashing probably currently. A lot of people are going in there, okay? The Biden administration student loan debt relief plan, part 1, final extension of the student loan repayment pause. So that's number 1. They are pausing it, and payments are maybe going to resume in January 2023, okay? It's down right now, but I'm reading it so you can read it with me. So remember that. Student loan repayment plans will not be going into effect until December 31st, 2022, okay? Till after the midterm elections. Very smart. Very interesting. Do I need to do anything to extend my student loan pause through the end of the year? No. The extended pause will occur automatically. Part 2. Providing targeted debt relief to low and middle income families. To smooth the transition back to repayment and help borrowers at the highest risk of delinquencies or default once payments resume, the U.S. Department of Education will provide up to $20,000 in debt cancellation to Pell Grant recipients with loans held by the Department of Education, up to $10,000 in debt cancellation to non-Pell Grant recipients. Borrowers are eligible for this relief if their individual income is less than $125,000 or $250,000 for households. Okay? In addition, borrowers who are employed by nonprofits, the military, or federal, state, tribal, or local government may be eligible to have all of their student loans forgiven through the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. This is because of the time-limited changes that waive certain eligibility criteria in the PSLF program. These temporary changes expire on October 31st, 2022. For more information, go to the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, pslf.gov. Frequently asked questions. How do I know if I'm eligible for debt cancellation? To be eligible, your annual income must have fallen below $125,000 or $250,000 for married or households. Okay? If you did not receive a Pell Grant in college and meet the income threshold, you will be eligible for up to $10,000 in debt cancellation. What does the up to in the up to $20,000 or up to $10,000 mean? Your relief is capped at the amount of your outstanding debt. For example, if you're eligible for $20,000 in debt relief but have a balance of $15,000 remaining, you will only receive $15,000 in relief. Okay? What do I need to do in order to receive the loan forgiveness? Nearly 8 million borrowers may be eligible to receive relief automatically because the relevant income data is already available to the U.S. Department of Education. If the U.S. Department of Education doesn't have your income data, or if you don't know if the U.S. Department of Education has your income data, the administration will launch a simple application in the coming weeks. And no, Hassan, is it based on your tax return? I just got a raise and I'm higher than $125K law. Doesn't matter because it looks at your tax return from the years 2020 and 2021. So even if you got fucking caked up this time around, do not worry because you can use your 2020 tax returns or your 2021 tax returns. I mean, unless you already filed. Okay. The application will be available before the pause on federal student loan repayments that ends in December 31st. If you would like to be notified by the U.S. Department of Education when the application is open, please sign up at the Department of Education subscription page. What is the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program? It's remaining balance on your student loans. We already covered this. Part 3. Make the student loan system more manageable for current and future borrowers. The income-based repayment plans have long existed within the United States Department of Education. However, the Biden-Harris administration is proposing a rule to create a new income-driven repayment plan that will substantially reduce future monthly payments for lower and middle-income borrowers. Now, this rule would require borrowers to pay no more than 5% of their discretionary income monthly on undergraduate loans. Okay? 5%. No more than 5%. That's the cap. This is down from the 10% available under the most recent income-driven repayment plan. Okay? Raise the amount of income that is... Hold on. I gotta fucking... throw this out. Raise the amount of income that is considered non-discretionary income and therefore is protected from repayment. Guaranteeing that no borrower earning under 225% of the federal poverty level, about the annual equivalent of a $15 minimum wage for a single borrower, will have to make a monthly payment. Okay? Forgive loan balances after 10 years of payments. Instead of 20 years, borrowers with loan balances of $12,000 or less. Cover the borrower's unpaid monthly interest so that unlike, this is the major part, this is the big whammy, cover the borrower's unpaid monthly interest so that unlike other existing income-driven repayment plans, no borrower's loan balance will grow as long as they make their monthly payments, even when that monthly payment is $0 because their income is low. Goddamn! The Biden-Harris administration is working to quickly implement improvements to student loans. Check back to this page for updates on progress. If you'd like to be the first to know, sign up for email updates from the U.S. Department of Education. I didn't know they could do that. Are you guys new here? I've been talking about how they have the capacity to do this for like years. They could have done this a very long time ago. And not a single lib will vote in the midterms? What? That's also not true. You know why that's not true? Because of Roe v. Wade. Obviously, things might change. The momentum might dry out. We don't know. But right now, things are looking a lot better for the Democratic Party's prospects in the midterm elections. It looks like they are managing to perform at 2020 levels, which is literally historic. An incumbent party often gets fucking hammered in the midterms. Okay? If the Biden administration and the Democratic Party can perform at 2020 levels in all of the fucking counties during the fucking midterms, during the 2020 midterms, that would be bananas. Do you understand? Pat Ryan defeats Mark Molinaro in the New York special election. This is a huge victory for Dems in a bellwether Biden plus 1.5 district. Now this, of course, is a little bit different because this is like so close to the Roe v. Wade decision. Okay? Which is why it might be performing this way. But so far, so good. Tyson Brody says, I know the Overton window is now trite, but one funny example is all the Biden-Harris online partisans who spent the past 2 years mocking student debt cancellation to punch left, now rushing to embrace the White House plan as a sensible policy. Connor Lamb Twitter is pretty mad, though. Yeah. So many people didn't do that income repayment. It took my loan payments from 392, and that was before the pandemic. Pandemic, consolidate your loans, chat. What is this? Oh my God. What's that about paying loans back? The House Judiciary GOP. If you take out a loan, you pay it back, period. Huh. Dude, I think we should do this. I think legally speaking, if you come out, okay? If you come out against like loan forgiveness, I'm gonna save this image. Hold on. And I'm gonna post this. Hold on. If you publicly come out against loan forgiveness, the federal government should come to your house with 87,000 new IRS agents kitted up with Bayraktars and force you to repay every single dime you got. That were forgiven. Yeah, payback, 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 payback. I think that's good policy. People would like this. If you publicly come out against loan forgiveness, I'm just like reading it again. The federal government should come to your house with 87,000 new IRS agents kitted up with BIDOC dollars and force you to repay every single dime you got from the PPP loans that were forgiven. Biden is the most Islamic president we have. That is not even a joke. Juice it. Yusuf Al-Bidan. Yusuf Al-Bidan. He is alive and well. It's true. Buying a Zom with my dark brand in 20K. Meanwhile, the student loans in Sweden and Scandinavia is a dream, almost 0% interest, and you pay off the loan over like 20 years. They want as many people as possible to study because it benefits the state. I know. Hey, you know what else some countries do? They literally pay you to go to college. Not only is college education free, but in certain European countries, you might even get paid to go to college, okay? Because that's what a normal country should do. Why? Why? Well, because that's how you make a more productive labor force, okay? That's how it works. You know, listen to Andrew Tate's last message to the world. I don't give a fuck about that right now, okay? Unless you are interested in like taking the newly freed up 20 grand that you have and dumping it directly into Hustlers University, I don't care about that right now. Oh my God. Fucking nailed him. In Belgium, when you work, you get checks to pay off your student loans. Pelosi take aging faster than Dianne Feinstein. From 7/28/21, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, people think that the President of the United States has the power to debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. This has to be an act of Congress. Smoking on that Pelosi pack, too.
Process, but not responding to whatever. Here's the thing. People think that the President of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know, or you let me know? People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress. And I don't even like to call it forgiveness because that implies a transgression. It's not to be forgiven. Just freeing people from those obligations. So the question of who gets forgiven, to use the term of art that is out there, is a debate. Do we use whatever money there is for the broadest base of support of those with more people with even less debt or fewer people with more debt? That's a policy discussion. But the difference between the president can't do it. So that's not even a discussion. Not everybody realizes that. But the president can only postpone, delay, but not forgive.
And following up, what would be the...
Who cares? Okay, then delay it permanently. The president has the capacity to do so. Who is going to turn around? What fucking president? What fucking president is going to come in, okay, and reverse that with executive decision, with an executive order? What fucking Republican or Democrat is going to turn around and be like, hey, 45 million Americans, you're fucked again? No. No, dude. People saying Trump, you're out of your fucking mind. You are insane if you think a single Republican is that stupid. This is why they fight so hard against social safety nets, because they know undermining already established social safety nets is impossible. That's why they can't fucking cut Social Security. They know once people have it, you can't take it back. You understand? That's why they fought so hard against Obamacare. What happened? Trump tried to fucking take it away. What happened? It didn't work. That's how it works. That's why the Republican Party so effectively tries to shut this before it happens. Do you understand? It is infinitely more difficult to reverse social safety nets and take it away once people have it. Do you understand? Look at the NHS. It has taken years and years and years for across multiple American presidencies to like cripple this fucking behemoth of a state. Do you understand? It didn't happen overnight. They have to do it slowly but surely. And part of the reason why they do it, part of the reason why they've even been able to do it is because the Democrats are feckless and they haven't defended these social safety nets adequately. That's why I was so fucking mad at Obama, just like Bernie Sanders was during his re-election, where he straight up ran at a certain point on basically cutting Social Security, gutting Social Security. That's why it's imperative, it's incredibly important for the Democratic Party to not give up and to keep pushing, okay? Seriously, you want to forgive educational debt? What's next? Medical debt? Yeah, I know. It's fucked up. I know. I do want to forgive medical debt as well. All students in many, many campuses are getting emails like this. Yeah, think about what this is going to do to drive people to fucking vote, too. I know a lot of you do not care about electoralism. I know a lot of you have given up. But this is 45 million Americans that got a serious fucking debt relief. Like, that's huge. That's fucking huge, man. That's still a big deal. This is why I always say, even marginal differences in policy amongst the two parties, and it's really disgusting that the Democrats know this and use this to their advantage, but even marginal differences amongst the two parties that are often just bipartisan on every single issue leads to drastic outcomes on the ground. What you have to remember is not get complacent and be like, oh, Brandon is working for us. He's not. He sucks. Okay? You need to keep pushing and don't stop. I don't think you can hold Biden accountable either. When I say keep pushing, I mean organize. Ensure that there is a mechanism of pushback outside of the current political spectrum, outside of the current political process. But it's not a bad thing. This is a good thing. It's a huge thing. Anyway, student loan forgiveness sounds really nice to illegal immigrants. People will know, like, people don't have families, and yet people who use preferred pronouns, louder or crowder, get fucked, get owned. McConnell says Biden's student loan forgiveness is a wildly unfair redistribution of wealth. I mean, this motherfucker, a demon for real. Straight up a fucking demon. If it was truly a wildly unfair redistribution of wealth, McConnell would be on board. Okay? McConnell would be so on board. McConnell has never seen a reverse Robin Hood scheme that he hasn't loved. Okay? Meanwhile, the only Robin Hood scheme that Americans are experiencing is the top of the hour ad break where people gift subs at the top of the hour to help other people avoid the ads. But if you're not lucky enough to be able to receive a gifted sub, you can on your own for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Woo! Use it on your favorite streamer. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Let's go. I don't even know what happened behind the scenes. I guess like they saw that this was going to be good for the midterms or something, and they boosted it, which is fire. But they did it. They did it. Jen Lu, thank you for the 5, get the subs. A Diabeto, thank you for the 5, get the subs as well. Thank you, Anthoderma, for the 5, get the subs, allowing 15 people to no longer see the top of the hour ad breaks. I truly think this turtle's effect on super PACs is one of the most dangerous things that whatever had over the limited democracy America's had. Yes. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene was swatted. God damn, there's so much goodness in the world, dude. So much good things happening. So many good things happening. It's freaking me out a little bit. Okay. Here's Jason Furman, former Obama administration official. Of course, professor of practice at Harvard. You know, another Harvard in the bio ass motherfucker. Pouring roughly $500 billion of gasoline on the inflationary fire that is already burning is reckless. Doing it while going well beyond one campaign promise, 10K of student loan relief, and breaking another all proposals paid for is even worse. Oh, man. Americans are going to be so mad that Brandon didn't do a pay-for proposal. Oh, no. How about don't look a gift horse in the mouth? Have you ever thought about that? No, of course not, you fucking piece of shit. Oh, no, it's not. What about the pay-for? Who gives a fuck? Oh, no, the deficit. Dude, deficit hawks are ridiculous. The only people who honestly have deficit hawkery in their fucking bones, by the way, are the Democrats, which is the most hilarious part of this process. Okay? It truly is 9/11 for people with Harvard in their bios. I mean, straight up. It is true. It's awesome. I can't pay some bills now, but what about the deficit? Oh, no. I'm very glad this is helping people who really need it, but without structural change, I don't see how a one-time forgiveness will prevent this in the future. Wait, I agree. I agree. But, you know, the same don't look a gift horse in the mouth principle applies for you as well, in the sense that, like, you know, get excited. Distribution of student loan borrowers by balance. The average student loan debt for what 12.2 million Americans is 10 to $25,000. Brain Toilet 25, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Look at that. Eviscerated, dude. Eviscerated. Boom, gone. Boom, gone. Boom, gone. A big chunk, gone. I mean, that's crazy. This is like the fattest fucking chunk. The fattest chunk of people whose entire debt is gone. Pee-pee poof. They didn't know this many people could be brainwashed in unison. Quite impressive. Wait, I want to know what he meant. Oh, dude, don't ban him. I want to know. I want to know. Is he like, we're brainwashed into fucking what? Getting excited about like debt relief? That's so crazy. Like, can you imagine getting fucking mad at debt relief, dude? How much disdain do you have in your heart for your fucking fellow man? How much hatred do you have in your heart for other fellow citizens? That you see someone else having like a shackle taken off, but still many shackles that remain, don't worry. And you still go, nah, it's not good. It's not good. We got to fucking stop that. I don't like that. You stop that. Why? Oh. As Biden cancels some student debt, remember why debt exists? A key Reagan advisor warned in 1970 that free college was producing a dangerously explosive dynamite of an educated proletariat, and we have to be selective on who we allow to go through higher education. Later in 1970, Roger Freeman, a key educational advisor to Nixon, then working for the re-election of California Governor Ronald Reagan, spelled out quite precisely what the conservative counterattack was aimed at preventing. We are in danger of producing an educated proletariat. That's dynamite. We have to be selective on who we allow to go through higher education. If not, we will have a large number of highly trained and unemployed people. The two most menacing institutional sources of danger described by Freeman were obviously those two great public university systems charging no tuition, the University of California and the City University of New York. Governor Reagan was able to wipe out free tuition at the University of California. This is a double bind. On the one hand, he's saying an educated population is going to be really hard to maintain control over. But on the other hand, okay, on the other hand, he's also stating that they're going to be unemployed because someone needs to clean the fucking toilets. And if you let everybody get educated, they're not going to want to clean the toilets. There is no other way under a capitalist organization of the economy to maintain that underclass. So you have to do whatever the fuck you can to ensure that there's a service industry, a viable a permanent underclass that will consistently enslave themselves for your profits. It is completely beyond the pale to assume that a different structure or a different organization of the economy could ever exist. Okay? And even if automation is the answer in that circumstance, under a capitalist organization of the economy, automation doesn't benefit the working class. It doesn't reduce their workload. You know what I mean? If everyone's educated and we figured out fucking robots, self-cleaning toilets or robots or whatever the fuck, we can't have that. Or rather, that doesn't benefit you because that just replaces a fucking job instead of lightening your workload. As you become more productive, instead of having you work 20 hours a week, having you work 8 hours a week, okay, and make the same amount of money, but have a tremendous amount of freedom to pursue other things, okay? God forbid. God fucking forbid. You look 40 now instead of 30? I don't know. It is what it is. Still fucked your mom, though. This is the whole video of John Oliver shitting on the idea of canceling student loan debt.
Policy, we all know the devil is in.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lib, dude. He's fucking libbed up. The r/neoliberal sub had a bit of a meltdown. Check r/subreddit drama if you want. Oh, wow. You mean to tell me that Margaret Thatcher's ideology on the subreddit dedicated to Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan's ideology is having a bit of a meltdown as a consequence of misunderstanding what neoliberalism is? Oh, that's so crazy. That's so wonderful. I wonder how many fucking weirdos on the internet have like purposely led people astray. Oh, that's so weird. It has the word liberal in it, so they must be Democrats. Well, yeah, they are, but not the good kind. If there is such a thing, even. Does it apply to those of us currently in school taking out loans? Yes. You have a strong anti-dictatorship platform, yet you terrorize chatters? Take that, lib. Yeah. I tried to cure cancer in the future versus chemo now. My parents and my dad said, well, what if chemo kills the person who will cure cancer? Wait, what? Okay. I already saw the Dark Brandon moment. We watched it live. Before we get into Marjorie Titan Green and what happened to her, let's get back to Jason Furman, former Obama administration official. The White House fact sheet has a sympathetic examples about a construction worker making $38K and a married nurse making $77 a year. But then, why design a policy that would provide up to $40,000 to a married couple making $249,000? Why include law and business school students? Why not? I mean, why not? Can a society function without lawyers? I mean, sure, I'm all in favor of fucking business school students getting the cucked out of this if you want. If you want to do a policy that is designed around resentment, then certainly I'm fine with that. But like what? Are there no fucking pro bono public defenders and shit? It's so stupid. Fuck you, Hassan. Yeah, suck me, okay? You're in business school. You should be making more than $125,000 a year anyway. That's why you went to business school, right? I saw a fucking funny ass TikTok. Wait, let me see if I can find this TikTok. It was so good. I liked the TikTok earlier today and commented on it actually. It was like about a guy going to law school. What the fuck is this? God damn it. Sorry about that. Loud audio. Boys, very hard to... Desktop TikTok is just so cancerous and so bad. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Let's watch. Studies hard to get in law school. Gives up everything to be a lawyer. Finally makes partner and has a chance to be rich. Dude who bought a house in San Francisco in 1993. Dude with a Twitch stream. Get fucked. Hey, business school Andes, suck me, okay? Hey, here's what I got for you. Not only one, but two of these, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get an MBA? Are you saddled with student loan debt? Oh, dude, get excited. Maybe one day you will make as much money as a motherfucker who eats his toenails on camera like XQC. Probably not. Probably not. That's never happening. There are dudes out there eating toenails on camera that make more money than you ever will. You fucking loser. I'm glad you got an MBA, dude. You're going to kill it. Disgusting flex, bro. I'm going to quit. I have no... Dude, listen. I personally believe it should be... You're talking to someone who thinks it should be illegal to get an MD and an MBA at the same time.
I can't be...
I literally... I genuinely believe this. One, because my primary care physician at UCLA was like in the administration and he would constantly fucking give me Heritage Foundation talking points whenever talking about socialized medicine. We would literally debate. Every time I went in for a checkup, this motherfucker, like, bro, you've looked at my dick and shit. Like, you can't be debating me with Heritage talking points, okay? And yeah, he was an MBA, MD, okay? So much so that he had to actually call me after one of them and say, that was actually very unprofessional of me and I apologize. I've talked about this before. As someone with an MBA, why are you hurting me after I hid your billions in the Cayman Islands? Yeah, get fucked. Can we please move on from student loans? You covered it for like 3 hours yesterday already. First of all, no, I didn't. Secondly, why the fuck would we move on from this? It is incredibly important policy. And I haven't finished like all of the most important parts about this.
Canceling student loan debt is
especially making fun of all the hot takes, making fun of all the dumb conservatives that are freaking the fuck out over it. Let me see this.
Yo, man.
Business school students hitting the gritty.
Sorry, she a fucking fan. I get bread, all these fucking bands. I was 7 years old, on God, I knew I was the man.
It was unprofessional of me to debate your cock. Yeah. Wait, so what's your actual take about this? My life just got 100 times better. That there's a huge teacher shortage and I can be a teacher and get most of my debt forgiven and live my low income dream. Wait, what do you mean? I'm celebrating. This is great. This is a wonderful thing. The only part about this that I'm like, you know, not super excited about is that it could have been more, you know what I mean? That's it. My daddy already paid off my loans. Please move on with the stream. Play some Valorant or something. Boring. It's a bit of a fuck you to doctors sacrificing their lives for others while sat in with 300K plus debt. My friend, are you insane? I think medical school should be fucking free, along with nationalized healthcare. So, yeah, if that's your take, then I agree with you. Yes, that's so fucking stupid that you know, they're not doing that. Medical degrees should be free regardless. Go to tweet about student loan forgiveness. Oh, I love this. Joe Biden, instead of giving 10K to people with student loan debt, add 10K debt so they grind harder. Exactly, dude. Cryptic is here illegally. 10K isn't going to do much for them, but fixing the interest accrual on loan repayment is huge for those people. That's huge. Capping it at 5% is huge. And also eliminating interest during that process, as long as you make your debt repayments, even if it's $0, is also gigantic. Okay, those are huge W's. And also 10,000 or up to 20,000 if you have Pell Grants. That's not a small number. I just showed you the gigantic swath of the population that has a like the highest number of people, up to 12 million people, have $10,000 to $15,000 in student loan debt. That's huge, dude. Are you fucking crazy? It's like around 28 million fucking people that have gotten that level of student loan debt. Sure, you might have gotten more. You might have gotten more, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. Like, there's a huge swath of the population that will have almost their entire student loan debt eviscerated. You're thinking about this all wrong. If medical school was free, imagine all the cringe PhD Andes there would be. I know. There are already enough of them. They make up like 6% of the fucking broadcast and make up like 100% of the cringe. Including my fucking mod team. There, I said it. It needed to be said. Everyone with above a bachelor's degree can eat rocks, okay? It's vegans you're talking about? Yeah, PhDs and vegans. They make up such a tiny fraction of this community, but like 100% of the stun locks. Such irrational hatred for PhD holders. I'm just kidding. Okay. I dropped out of college twice. That's why I'm the best mod. Yes. I'm anti-education. Okay? You know this. I'm expressly anti-education. You did too much college. You did too much college. Okay. I can't believe it truly does feel like this is impossible. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I get like so fucking doom pilled myself that when the government actually does something that's good, I'm in a state of shock. There's like a sense of panic at first where I'm like, how could this be fucked up? But this is good. It is an ultra rare America W. Yes. By the way, those examples also contradict the baseline some have concocted to claim that this won't raise inflation. The claim it won't raise inflation is based on the construction worker going from permanently paying $0 interest to paying $31 a month at an annual cost of $372. You can't use one baseline interest payment suspended to argue this will constrain demand and then a different baseline interest payments restored to describe the benefits. That is incoherent, inconsistent, and indefensible cherry picking. I hope the White House doesn't do it. They also need to be careful with all the distributional numbers because the beneficiaries will tend to have a higher lifetime incomes than current incomes. A 25-year-old making 75 grand is likely to be at a relatively high percentile on a lifetime basis. Dude, I want to die. This is so fucking stupid. This is so fucking stupid. Here's why. It shouldn't matter. It should be free anyway. Shut the fuck up. Just because your father has fucking, purple and blue links on Wikipedia, and therefore you were able to go to fucking Harvard, doesn't change that reality for so many other Americans, dude. I hate these motherfuckers so much. I hate them. It almost feels like people are just like, wow. Wow. I mean, some people are going to get some benefits out of this. I don't like it. Like, oh, God forbid they experience a sense of like unshackling at least one fraction of a burden from their lives. Oh my Lord. But of course, the reason why a lot of people freak the fuck out, okay? The reason why a lot of people freak the fuck out about this is because, listen, college debt is a way to burden people, okay? Is a way to burden the workforce even before they get into the workforce, so they are more servile, okay? It also works for America's imperialist endeavors because, hey, you can get college paid. That's why you should join the army, join the military, go army, okay? Because, hey, that's one way that you can get a shitty communications degree and fail and suffer in the same fucking awful marketplace conditions as the rest of the labor force, okay? It's how American life works. It's the same principle as burdening you with employment-based insurance. Because if insurance was offered by the government, you would be able to move around faster. You would be able to change your job. If you're in a shitty workplace where your manager is like sexually harassing you and you have no fucking alternative, you've talked to HR, they're not doing anything about it, you could actually quickly quit and promptly go to another job because you no longer have the fear that, like, if you get sick in that process, you fucking die or you take on an insane amount of medical debt. Okay? That's how it works. Our debtor's economy is created in a way to make more subservient, servile workers. That's a part of the reason why people freak the fuck out when there's any kind of debt relief. You go to college to become a more productive asset. You go to college to become a more productive labor force participant. But in order to do that, which is tremendously beneficial for everyone, the entire planet, education is a good thing, not a bad thing. That's why I'm a favor of Hustlers University. Okay? In order to become a more productive member of the workforce, you are saddled with debt. So when the shitty jobs, which are the only jobs you can get unless you know someone, okay? And as a beneficiary of nepotism, God, I know this better than anybody else, I promise. Okay, I looked long and hard. Graduated with honors. And there was no availabilities. The only jobs that were available to me was selling life insurance to my friends and family, okay? Those are the only interviews I was able to take. Constantly overlooked. A lot of you know this, especially if you have a political science degree and you're not going to law school. That's the only thing you can get. Unless you already had connections, unless you already interned for free, which is another way to, do slavery, but in a more adequate and appropriate way. It's another way to cut out all the poor people who can't afford to take a free internship, that need to work during summer vacations to survive. That's another way to fucking cull the working poor. Okay? The entire system is designed in this way to ensure that there's a funnel that maintains the same classist dynamic that is already in existence. Everybody talks about affirmative action, especially as it pertains to college educations. Like, they're like, oh, black people are getting into fucking colleges that they don't deserve to be a part of, blah, 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 blah. Affirmative action is just a Band-Aid policy, right? It's a Band-Aid offered to black Americans and marginalized Americans in general, instead of actual economic restitution, reparations. And everybody complains about that. Except the real affirmative action is happening in legacy admissions. And no one complains about legacy admissions. That's it. That's the real classist part of this process. All of these Harvard Andes that are a part of the legacy admissions process are over here chirping. There are a number of highly problematic impacts, including encouraging higher tuition in the future, encouraging more borrowing, creating expectations of future debt forgiveness, and more. Most importantly, everyone else will pay for this, either in the form of higher inflation or in higher taxes or lower benefits in the future. The stimulus is relatively small, so the inflation impact is about to be 0.2, 0.3, as 150 to 200 in higher costs for a typical household. That's a relatively small inflation number, but would take about 50 to 75 BP on the Fed funds rate to extinguish that much inflation. Is the Fed going to try and offset this? Again, going back to the Fed. Biden should do what he did with OPEC, but this time with every producer. Every agricultural producer, every fucking food producer in the country that relies on government subsidies has to fucking produce more. Has to increase supply. Has to hire more. Go off. There you go. Now you solved the demand problem. Now you solved it by creating an abundance of supply. Boom. Inflation gone. Here's another way that you can actually solve this problem. More houses, more housing, public housing. Ensure that the housing market is not the fucking bananas boom that it's in. Lower housing prices by offering more inventory. Jason Furman is the son of a billionaire real estate investor. Wait, really? My brain kind of small, but doesn't this help economy as people have less payments and can spend more? Yes, that is precisely what it does. But this guy is complaining because the only way that they fucking comprehend the economy is through the textbooks. So it's like, oh, there's only one solution under a capitalist formation. Under a capitalist organization of the economy, the only reason why inflation happens is because demand is going up and supply is not going up, okay? But hey, let's not look at the supply. Everyone has more purchasing power so they can buy more shit. And when everyone's buying more shit and the supply is not increasing, then the prices are going to go up because now there's less availabilities. Jay Furman was a developer and owner of real estate located in 39 U.S. states and Puerto Rico. Wow! Wow! That's crazy. I was right. This motherfucker does have a fucking... Look at him! What did I say? All these Harvard Andes with their fucking Wikipedia pages where their parents have blue fucking links. These trust fund baby cocksuckers. Oh my God. Look at that. I'm sorry. Can you not pay for college education? Well, fuck you. I got into Harvard because my dad was a real estate billionaire who bought a fucking wing of the library. How did you know that? What do you mean? It's a meme at this point. It's a fucking meme. CEO of a $3 billion real estate corporation recently told investors that a recession could be good if unemployment puts employers back in the driver's seat, per earnings call I found. I mean, that's not surprising. A bank also, an executive at a bank also said this. I think it was a Bank of America. His grandpa was also a real estate developer. No way. No way. Son of real estate developer Morris Furman. Oh my God. Jay Furman, Jason Furman's father, was also the son of a real estate developer. No way. Morris Furman. What? Intergenerational wealth works that way? That's fucking nuts. Pieces of shit. Furman graduated from Harvard University. Fucking called it, dude. Fucking called it. You nailed this one so hard. You deserve the props. After school, he worked for the family company, eventually assuming control. Hey, man. Hey, working poor folk that are looking for a means for upward social mobility that you have found through education. Job opportunities that were not afforded to you are now afforded to you because, and are available to you because you got education. And now you're saddled on with that. Hey, brokies. You know what you should have done? Been born into a fucking family of real estate billionaires, dog. What's wrong with you? Why weren't you born into a family where your dad went to fucking Harvard and his dad also was a real estate billionaire? Fucking idiot. America has, for some incredible reason, been able to absolutely eviscerate and mystify the class dynamic that exists within capitalism. They've been able to mystify it so adequately by hammering on racial dynamics and ensuring that there's racial division at every step of the way that is built into all of our fucking institutions. Racial division, which can also be explained through a class dynamic as well. And for some fucking weird reason, no one looks at this and goes, wait a minute, you're like a recipient of tremendous amounts of intergenerational wealth. This is why you've been able to prosper. This is why the Obama administration hired you as a fucking policy advisor. Why is it that in the country where there's supposed to be economic equality or the equality of opportunity, when there is a moment of not even prosperity, but just a simple moment of debt relief, you fucking lose your goddamn mind. You've been able to benefit from this. You already got yours. Why are you trying to fuck everyone else? And of course his brother is an Obama-appointed judge. Of course. United States District Judge. Of course. Also went to Harvard. Piece of shit. This kind of stuff makes my fucking blood boil. I know a lot of you, I know a lot of my haters are like, oh, son, you're fucking incredibly fortunate. You're incredibly fortunate. I'm infinitely closer to you than these motherfuckers. And even then, I'm also advocating for your best interest. But it's so fucked up that you, instead of getting mad at this shit, will hyper-focus on someone like me. Jay Furman never reads my shit posts out loud. Yeah. They secretly know that if there is actual equality of opportunity, then the system would have to change. If there are more educated people, they are more willing to organize. If there are more educated people, there are more opportunities to change. It's not as easy to consistently create a servile underclass when you are not saddled by tremendous amounts of debt. I am not effing on my end. It's on your end, by the way. I don't know what happened. A little baby F. Maybe one of the... it might be on your end. Probably like a server or something. The trolley problem apply the debt relief. Juniper in the replies. Would it be fair to the people that the trolley is already killed to divert it now? Yeah, this is exactly. Spectrum and LA's been fucking up for me this week too. I mean, I've been fine. Okay. What are your thoughts on poop equals funny? I agree. Labor's first half 2022 NLRB unionization election wins successfully organized a total of 43,092 workers, which is more than double the number of workers organized in the first half of 2021. That's fucking crazy. The biggest influx of union workers isn't from Starbucks, apparently. Of those 43,000 workers unionized via labor board elections in the first half, 8,325 were at Staten Island Amazon warehouse, 5,313 were at the 200 Starbucks cafes that voted to unionize, 3,823 were at MIT, 1,902 were at Kaiser, 1,450 were at Stanford Health. Fire. Why are you spinning this? They probably were not going to get the money from US. What? It's a good day, man. There's some good fucking news coming out. Mark Goldwine. Student debt cancellation will cost 400 to 600 billion. Wipe out the IRA savings twice over. Add up to a quarter point to inflation. Benefit MDs, JDs, and MBAs. Drive up tuition costs. Increase risk of recession. Get great job, folks. Because the Fed will have to tighten more. That's funny. My man is literally saying everything, okay? If you are wiping out the Inflation Reduction Act, okay, it's not going to cause recession. It would be the exact opposite. He's literally saying it will both simultaneously do inflation and recession at the same time. It's just, oh, that's cool, man. Oh, I guess you're just saying like everything. It's going to do everything. It's just fucking so ridiculous. Here, I'm an economist and a budget expert, guys. I'm a budget expert at the Responsible Economics Institute, okay? And I'm saying with all of my might, with my entire chest, that this is going to do inflation and it's going to do recession at the same time. It's going to kill you, actually. It's going to... Only blue-haired SJW gender non-binary students will benefit from this. And also, they will turn around and be able to legally kill every blue-collar oil rig worker. Yeah, that's right. I heard Brandon is specifically not allowing blue-collar oil rig workers to get any of the financial benefits, even if their children went to college. Yeah. Fuck it. YOLO. Say anything. You're just you're an economic expert, so you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Canceling student loan debt is going to just drive up the cost of college. Don't you guys know how this works? Kind of like how Obamacare made it.
This is so funny because it's like, dude, why are we pointing to yet another problem that already exists in the system and not even trying to solve that problem? Why are we not looking at that and going, that's really fucked up. We should not allow that to happen.
Made it so that all of our health insurance doubled. Government is really good at making us pay either way.
The government is really good at making us pay either way? What the fuck? Yeah, remember when tuition prices were increasing regardless? Bolsonaro's at it again. Can you explain how increasing inflation and risk of recession can happen at the same time? Genuine question. Well, I mean, they're opposite to one another. Recession is when the economy has to cool down, and if you go too far in limiting demand, if your only mechanism of combating inflation is by trying to limit demand by making the working class poorer because they instead of increasing the supply, and people are no longer confident in an ever-growing, ever-expanding economy, and they stop opening up new businesses and stop purchasing shit. Stagflation is growing inflation with a receding economy. Except, on the one hand, he's saying people are going to have more of an opportunity to fucking have purchasing power. And then the government is going to step in, and in order to deflate the economy, in order to stop that additional additional purchasing power, they will increase interest rates further, which will cause a recession. He's making it up. Researchers in Italy report first case of someone testing positive for monkeypox, COVID-19, and HIV all at the same time. It's Jair Bolsonaro. Okay. I love how people are just resigned to accepting that our lives are being held at gunpoint to the profit motive, and any move to combat or provide relief is met with resistance because of that. Yes. That is the absolute most ridiculous part about this. Whenever people say, isn't this going to increase rent prices? Oh, isn't this going to just increase college tuition prices? It's like, bro, what do you mean? Why? Why? Is there a gun to your head? It's the same energy as if you start taxing the wealthy more, they will leave. Oh, yeah? Is that true? Is that what has happened in the state of California, for example? Because it doesn't seem like it. $80 billion budget surplus in the state of California, almost entirely as a consequence of the wealthiest people making more money and paying more in taxes, myself included. Where are they going to go, bro? Oh, they're going. They're going to go. Oh, okay. Well, how about this? How about you're no longer held at gunpoint? How about America says, hey, if you fucking evade taxes, if you're gonna take advantage of like Ireland as a tax haven, for example, Apple, okay, then we're gonna shut off the American consumer force. They're not gonna buy shit from you. Do what China does. I mean, that would never happen, obviously. I'm like delusional. I'm not delusional enough, at least, to advocate for something like that because I know it would never happen. But this idea that like we are constantly held at gunpoint by the wealthy and powerful who control all institutions, and that there's simply nothing you can do. You can't even like ask them to pay a fair share because, oh, God forbid, they might run away, is stupid, idiotic.
It's not fair. Look, the aim of this is really to address the effects of the pandemic. It's my responsibility to make sure that people aren't coming out of the pandemic worse off than they were at the beginning.
But to the fairness question, the people that are sitting at home,
Right.
having just paid off their student loans or having paid them off years ago, what's in it for them?
Right. Well, look, when we address some of the issues that could lead to default payments or default borrowers in the future, that affects everyone. We should be proud that we're able to help Americans that need help right now.
Yeah, what about the fairness for selfish people? I like that though, because conservatism is inherently selfish. So it's like, you know, they're like, what about all the selfish people that are going to be upset that now, you know, other people are getting some debt relief? Okay, well, you know, suck me. How about that?
Now, just like we help businesses, small businesses during the pandemic, you know, it's about making sure we're taking care of Americans and investing in our economy and in our people.
But just the final one on this, the people that already paid.
It's only made funnier because, like, every single person that does this song and dance on television has never had to worry about this. You are never going to see maybe like one or two fucking Sigma Grindset hustler psychopaths, but you're never going to fucking see like an actually real human being on television talk about this and the genuine impact that it had on their lives, turn around and be like, oh, what about all the people that actually pay their debt? Because this guy's dad is a Fox News commentator, okay? Douchey's dad is also at Fox News. I don't know what fucking college he went to, but the Jason Furman thing that happened on the liberal side happens on the Republican side as well. All of these people were able to never be saddled by debt. They never had to worry about it. And now they're trying to get some dumb motherfuckers in your peripheral, in your class, to get upset about it. They're trying to rile them up. And there are plenty of dumb motherfuckers in the American workforce that think like, oh man. Yo, Swift on Security gave you a shout out. Big InfoSec account. Wait, really? Why? What was that about?
Their student loans.
Right.
They don't get anything out of this deal.
Right.
That's right. Okay.
Those who are saying it's
What is your take on people who took out student loans and then spent them on completely unnecessary shit like drugs, alcohol, or a down payment on a fancy car? In those situations, the government pay for that? Great. Wonderful. Who cares? Sigma Grindset, baby. I'm not in the business. What is this? Anyway, if you subbed us, I recently made a big change in our internet filtering, and it turns out nobody even knew why those blocks were there. I waited like 2 years thinking somebody had a strong opinion on or HR, but nope, it was just broken shit cruising along, everybody thinking it was supposed to be that way. Anyway, if you sub to Hassan, it works on your corporate laptop now. You're welcome. What the fuck? That's so funny. Especially at the top of the hour, you know what I'm saying? Where a 60-second ad break is coming. And if you no longer want to see those ads, whether you're on a corporate laptop or not, you're going to have to subscribe for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime by connecting your or someone else's Amazon account to your Twitch account. Or if you're lucky, you may be able to get gifted a sub. Okay, here's the 1 minute ad break now. What if a rabid bear crashed through the window and ate me right after I paid my student loans? Would that be fair? Yeah, I love the weird hypotheticals that people are bringing up. That are incredibly silly, but you know, people are going to do people shit no matter what. Finally, it's not obvious to me that this is reasonable for a president to do unilaterally. A number of lawyers and political leaders have argued inconsistent with the law, even if technically legal. I don't like this amount of unilateral presidential power. Shut the fuck up. You just don't like it because it's good for the working class. I know he worked with Obama. I know. All right. Let's see what Warren's reaction is to Biden's major student loan forgiveness announcement.
Ana Cabrera has the day off. Well, in a little more than an hour from now, a major announcement from the White House for millions of Americans struggling with student loan debt. President Biden will lay out a plan to cancel $10,000 in federal student loan payments for borrowers who make less than $125,000 a year, and to extend the payment freeze. Let's go right to CNN senior White House correspondent Phil Mattingly. So, Phil, what more are we learning about this major announcement today?
You know, Bianna, this is an announcement that has been months in the making. Very intense debates inside the White House, a ton of pressure from Democrats and outside groups outside the White House, getting the president to this point. There's really three key elements here that you need to pay attention to, and the details are very important. There are income caps to actually qualify for this loan cancellation. If you are an individual who makes under $125,000 a year, or a family that makes under $250,000 a year, and you have federal loans, the president is going to basically sign the ability to cancel $10,000 of those loans. Now, there's another element, too, that's very important. $20,000 could be canceled for any Pell Grant recipients with federal loans. That's incredibly important, as the administration has worked continuously over the course of the last several months to try and target this release, to try and target this cancellation towards lower and middle income individuals. The administration officials believe roughly almost all of Pell Grant recipients make $60,000 or less. They would all qualify. In total, when you look at the actual loan cancellation, it would affect about 43 million borrowers if they all take.
Remember, anytime someone brings up a stupid fucking anecdote, you can just bring up a good anecdote, okay? That's how it works. That's the problem with anecdotes. For every fucking dumb anecdote about, like, well, what if someone took out, student loan debt and didn't even study hard and partied hard instead, and like now they have student loan debt that they have to fucking pay for, that the government is now allowing them to skirt their responsibilities on. You can use the countless millions of fucking nurses, workers, people that work at the fucking coal mine and their children. Okay, just like real Americans or whatever the fuck you want to use. There are millions of people out there. Okay, and if you don't have a real anecdote, just lie. Who cares? They're probably lying too. Teachers. The most effective counter to I know a guy is always, well, I know two guys, so shut the fuck up. Okay, well, and my guys are better. I know two guys. Well, now I know three guys actually, and they're all so much cooler than the one guy you found. Because that's not how policy works. That's only how policy works for fucking idiots. Okay? It's just so fucking stupid.
Take advantage of what's being put on board right now. More than 20 million would have their loans canceled altogether. The other element of this, which is important, is that extension of the loan repayment freeze. It's been in place since the pandemic, March of 2020. The administration has been weighing whether or not to let...
What? Rick Scott. Democrats push to forgive student loans won't solve problems. We need real solutions that don't create an added burden on taxpayers. My College Act will actually hold universities accountable for student outcomes. My man is literally tweeting from a yacht in Italy about why we shouldn't provide student debt relief to the middle class. Oh my God. Oh my God. And he also looks like this. And he's also responsible for the largest Medicare fraud in American history. God, I hate Florida so much. It boils my blood when I think about this fucking demon. This absolute fucking demon, dude. This fucking freak. God damn it. Ay, ay, ay. Spawn of Satan.
let it expire on August 31st. They will extend it for a little while longer to allow the system that they're putting in place today to take effect. Also, I would note it gets it past Election Day when it comes to the repayment process as well. And then the other element here is a rule from the Department of Education that will limit any undergraduate loan payments to 5% of income. Another key piece of this probably hasn't gotten as much attention, but is very important. Now, this isn't going to be welcomed by everyone. In fact, it might upset everyone. Some Democrats called for much more significant cancellation. Republicans firing away already, saying that this is completely unfair to those who have paid their loans off, who saved and worked for college, and also the economic elements here. Concerns about inflation from critical Democratic economists like Jason Furman, like Larry Summers. White House officials believe that with the restart of the repayment freeze, that in net, this will kind of offset one another in terms of demand versus the pressures, the countervailing pressures that would go against one another, Bianna. But those are things that the White House is going to have to grapple with in the weeks and months ahead. That said, this is a significant step, and one that for months it didn't seem like the president wanted to make. He's now making it with a large push from Senate Democrats in particular behind it.
Yeah, making it in just a little over an hour. At 2:15 from the White House, of course, we'll take his remarks when he does speak. Phil Mattingly, thank you. Well, joining us now is Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator Warren, thank you so much for joining us. I know this is a really important issue for you. You've spent most of your career as a law professor studying the effects of debt on U.S. families. The average student loan debt in this country, as you know, is around $30,000. You did campaign on $50,000 in debt relief. So what is your reaction to this plan for $10,000?
My reaction is that this is a great day. That today is the day the president.
Bro, how about you fucking figure out a microphone that works first? God damn, lady. What the hell?
The president's going to announce that about 20
This is the most leftist Elizabeth Warren has ever presented herself with the most leftist audio of all time.
million Americans will never have to make another student loan payment. And another 23 million Americans will have significant relief on their student loans. You know, look, will I keep fighting for more? Of course I will. But look at what's happened. It is truly transformative for tens of millions of Americans. And this program has been very carefully targeted to meet mostly the people who have demonstrated a lot of need, and let's just be blunt, for whom it was hard to go to college. We're going to see $20,000 of debt relief.
Like at Harvard, where she was the first woman of color professor. The first woman of color law professor at Harvard Law. True. That's real, according to the Fordham Review. It's hard. It's hard for me not to say, okay, let's just move on.
For over half of all of the borrowers, and those are disproportionately African Americans.
I mean, you choose to study art? What do you mean you choose to study art? What the fuck does that even mean? What do you think, like 45 million Americans that are saddled with debt all studied art? And even if they did, what good is life without art, you fucking idiot? Do you watch television? Shut the fuck up, okay? Even this, you're watching me right now. You're watching CNN right now. How much of this entire process that you are currently watching was designed and built by fucking art students? I hate these fucking dumbasses, dude. You studied art. Yeah, you should die then. You should suffer.
Disproportionately veterans, disproportionately.
She is technically defying the Harvard meme here, by the way, Elizabeth Warren. So congratulations on that. At least she's like pro debt relief.
Parents and disproportionately first generation students. So this is about helping America's working.
Motherfuckers be like, you studied art, you choose to suffer on a fucking website built for video game streaming. Okay? Yeah, good luck. No more video games, dumbass. All those fucking art majors, right? They should kick rocks, right? No video games for you. If you are anti-art, I'm coming to your fucking house with the IRS agents, 87,000 of them, and I'm forcing you to just look at the padded walls, okay? That's it. That's your entertainment.
Class Americans.
No more hentai for you, you little freak.
Targeting that
you twisted fuck.
Most relief to those who need it most.
Well,
I think that's pretty good.
Let me ask you about that question as to whether this is equitable enough, because especially from a racial perspective, because the NAACP released this statement in response to this announcement saying the student debt crisis has a disproportionate impact on Black borrowers and their families. Across all racial groups, Black borrowers hold the most student loan debt, despite also being consistently underserved by post-secondary institutions. Now, I know the administration is trying to incorporate the Pell Grant, given that the Pell Grant recipients largely compose of those who are racially minorities in this country. That having been said, this is not really an endorsement from the NAACP.
So, two things about that you want to focus on. When the NAACP was talking about the program, they were talking about a $10,000 across the board. The fact that it is twice as much loan forgiveness for Pell recipients, and that Pell recipients, that is disproportionately racial minorities, disproportionately veterans and parents and first generation students, the fact that they are getting twice as much relief, and enough relief that literally for millions it will cancel out all of their student loan debt, I think it changes that calculus. Now, like I said, do I want more? You bet I do. And will I continue to fight alongside the NAACP and other groups to have more student loan forgiveness? Yes. But the steps that the administration has taken today are powerful. They are important. There are millions of people right now who should be celebrating over what they have just heard, because their financial lives have just gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah. Isn't this, however, just a Band-Aid to the larger issue at hand, and that is how we got these debts in the first place? The cost of tuition has skyrocketed over the past few decades. You know that, and there are real concerns as to whether colleges are actually delivering enough for Americans in terms of their future earnings.
So I think that we have three things we need to think about, and that is the historic debt that we already have, and that's kind of the headline here, canceling $20,000 of that debt. Part two is how students are going to finance college going forward, and there's a really important part in this statement, and that is that the federal government, in effect, is offering to go into partnership with anyone who wants to go to school and can't afford to just write a check for it. And that is that they won't have to pay more than 5% of their disposable income on their debt. The interest won't mount up on that debt. And at the end of 20 years, they're totally done, whether they were able to pay it off or not, with that amount. But the third part is absolutely doing more to make sure that colleges and universities and all post-high school education is truly delivering, and that it's keeping costs down.
Yeah.
This is why I have long urged a bill for schools to have skin in the game when they've got students who are borrowing money to go to school, and also fought hard for transparency in the schools so that they have to reveal data about how much students are actually paying, and how long it takes students to graduate, and how many are graduating, and what happens to them after graduation. But this is the first step. We deal with the debt, we deal with payments going forward, and now it's going to be up to Congress to make sure that we do more to hold the colleges and universities accountable.
Well, as you know, this hasn't been received well by everyone in Congress. Senator Mitch McConnell says that this plan is a slap in the face to working class families. Let me ask you.
I love this. The fuck does Mitch McConnell know? Mitch McConnell can't even come without slapping the face of working class families. He's just, if this was real, if this was actually a slap in the face of working class families, which it's not, okay, it's literally, you know, it's helping middle class and poorer families, okay, it's debt relief for them. But if this was actually a slap in the face of working class families, Mitch would just be mad that he's not the one doing the slapping for once.
What do you say to a family that says, listen, I just spent years paying off my debt?
No, I would say I'm putting you on a spaceship or putting you on a trebuchet and launching you into the fucking sun, you fucking twisted freak. What college did you go to? How much money did your parents fucking have when you went to that dumb fucking college? Okay? Why do you even bring this talking point up? It's not a real talking point. Fox News never brings up the talking points from the left. They never bring up talking points from the left as a means to like to drive up conversation. It's so fucking stupid. Oh, every time anything happens in American media, you see CNN literally do the exact same thing time and time again. Well, here's a really good policy provision that you guys have actually advocated for and are finally following on, and this is going to, you know, release one financial burden from 45 million families. But on the other side, Republicans have claimed that this will kill everyone. What do you have to say to that? What do you have to say to that statement that the Republicans have made up? Why do you want to murder 45 million Americans? Like, why does that need to be discussed? It's not a real thing. Why? Why does that need to be discussed at any capacity?
I didn't have the federal government helping me out, bailing me out, and now I may be doing just that for a family that at some point may be earning more than I do.
This is inherently right-wing. This is inherently reactionary thought. And the only reason why this is going on at CNN is because American media, no matter how fucking liberal they are or whatever, are still slanted heavily to the right, okay? They are still incredibly right-wing.
Look, I'm not at all surprised that Mitch McConnell is attacking this. And the reason he's attacking it is because it is very, very popular. Popular among Democrats, independents, Republicans, popular. And you know why? Because I don't think there's anybody left in America who doesn't know somebody who isn't struggling with student loans.
Yeah. And medical debt. Medical debt.
become
Do medical debt next. Except that's legislation. Congress has to pass that, which is not going to happen. But, you know, try it.
Part of our country now. People for whom their only sin was to want to try to get an education and not be in a family that could afford to write a check for it. And what we're saying is, as a nation, we can do better than that. We can invest in our people. We can help our people. And ultimately, what the data show us is that because of student loan debt, there are many people who don't move out of their mama's basement, who can't save up money to buy a home, who don't start small businesses, who don't start a family. You relieve the debt burden some for those people, and we have more economic activity. In other words, canceling student loan debt is good for the people whose debt is canceled, but it is also good for our economy and the rest of America.
Breaking news overnight in some key primary.
All right. We're going to move on to the Florida and New York primary election results. Some primaries happened yesterday. We're going to talk about that. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.